Did you get to see the Chelsea game, Janusz? The 2-0 win over
I
Bournemouth?
I did see that. I still can't. I don't really know what to make of Chelsea, and this is the first time I say that. Okay, you know me. Usually the team picks itself under the previous ownership and some of the managers. It's easy to say it. Yes, a lot of injuries. Uh, an important win for them, but I still don't know how good Chelsea Football Club is at the moment. It's an unknown for me. The only thing I will say that Graham Potter finally is playing back four. I never understood why he played back three. Many have been telling me that Thiago Silva is incapable of playing in that position against in Qatar and in Brazil. He's proven that he can. Yesterday, I saw no issues. I suspect that in the biggest games against some of the top players, yes, I mean, at his age, maybe you get fined out, but who doesn't? I mean, against great players, it doesn't really matter. So I like Chelsea playing with the back four for sure. When everybody's healthy, I don't think that back three is a way to go for them. But everywhere else, to me, massive question marks.
Yeah, and talks about who they're going to bring in, Mark. Obviously, Declan Rice is the big name that's mentioned. He should be available if the price is right. And it's not like it's new. It's not like they haven't tried to get this player before. But will he get there in January? Will West Ham let him go in January?
Listen, my head's spinning with Chelsea because I don't know where they're getting the money from. Because they've been linked with Christopher Nkunku. It's going to happen. Josko Gvardiol. They brought in Fofana during the summer. They brought in Koulibaly during the summer, Raheem Sterling. Declan Rice would cost about £100 million. So I really worry about Chelsea. I don't think Declan Rice will happen in January. Not a chance. Certainly not between West Ham and Chelsea, two clubs with a big rivalry. Maybe it's bigger on the West Ham end, but West Ham will do everything they can to keep Declan Rice for the summer and try and create a bit of a bidding war, an auction for him. But I do worry about Chelsea because I think in every key area they've got rookies. They've got an owner that has come from the US sport, a different ball game in football in the Premier League. You've got Graham Potter, who has never managed a club or players of the stature they've got at Chelsea. They've lost Marina Granovskaya, who ran the show at Chelsea in terms of off the pitch. So they've got novices ever, and it actually reminds me of Man United after Ferguson left, when David Gill went, when Moyes came in, when Ed Woodward came in. They made a lot of mistakes, and I think I just don't think Graham Potter's a fit. I just think big time players. And Chelsea got a lot of those big-time players who've won Champions Leagues, won World Cups. They look around and they think, right, how are you going to make me better? And they either look at the guy's playing record and think, yeah, great player, how can I learn from him? Or his coaching record and think, he's done big things. Graham Potter has done nothing in the eyes of the Chelsea players that will impress them. So he's got to impress them on the training pitch. And if that isn't happening, and we're not seeing much signs that it is because the results have been up and down, I just think that they'll switch off. And we see it all the time with top players. Top players want to be coached by coaches they believe are on the same level as them. And I think that the rest of them at Chelsea look at Graham Potter and think, not sure what you're going to do for me. And it's exactly what happened with David Moyes at Man United. The players have given him a bit of time, and as soon as they find a crack in the armour or results aren't going their way, or he drops a big-time player and he's like, why are you dropping me? That's when problems start. And I just think that because there's so much inexperience at all levels, it's not going to work for Chelsea.
Wow, what do you think of that, Janusz? Because we've had a question from a fan as well saying, is Potter the long-term solution at Chelsea?
Yeah, I mean, I think in general I tend to agree with Mark, but I almost wonder if there is maybe a thought at Chelsea to rebuild Chelsea in a different way, younger, not as many stars, not what it used to be under Abramovich, right? So I think if that's the way to do it, and I suspect it is because we don't know if N'Golo Kante is going to renew. I think Jorginho is not going to stay there much longer. I think Thiago Silva is going to leave eventually, and I think you're going to see Chelsea Football Club buying maybe big stars, but much younger. If that's the case, then I can see Graham Potter being there. So if they show the patience that's needed, I could see a similar way of managing the club like we see at Arsenal. Because, that situation is the same. I mean, we can always say that big-time players want to play for big-time coaches. That's true. I mean, I don't know if that's the case with Ten Hag as well, right? I mean, I look at Ten Hag and I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, 5 years ago, nobody would know in Manchester who Ten Hag was. But that doesn't mean he can be a good manager. He's won at Ajax, which is, I think that's where Mark was going. And as we all know, Ajax sells their best players all the time, and yet they find a way to be an important team in Europe and in the world for that matter. So If Chelsea are changing their ways and going a little bit younger, then I think Graham Potter could be the solution, because he understands how to teach teams and players to play good football. But if they're going to continue to spend a lot of money on experienced players, then I think I'm with Mark. I think that's not going to last very long.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.